G'day adventurers! Looking for the best itinerary to explore all the iconic sites along the Great Ocean Road? Then this video is for you because I'll be sharing the easiest day-by-day itinerary to make sure that your road trip to Melbourne goes smoothly without a hitch. Let's begin. This is the most rewarding road trip in Australia because within just a few days you get to experience endless gorgeous coastline and the more pleasant sides of the Aussie outback. To get started, fly yourself into the city of Melbourne in the southern state of Victoria and get a rental car that fits you and your luggages. Start your morning with a drive to the charming historical town of Geelong. Yeah, I checked it, it's Geelong, not Geelong. On arrival, you'll be welcomed to a bustling coastal town lined with parks, restaurants, and recreation areas. Enjoy the beautiful waterfront before uncovering the history of the region at the National Wool Museum. I wasn't expecting this, but the museum was highly interactive and intriguing. They created a scene for every step of the wool process, from the sheep to the spinning to how wool is used today in the modern times. Before driving further out of the city, to help you survive the next few days on the Great Ocean Road, drop by the supermarket Coles to stock up on essentials like some potato chips and the emergency chocolate bar. Catch a beachside lunch before you leave Geelong. The best spot to park your car is at the Westfield building where the Coles supermarket is. Not only you get to pack your groceries into the car right after buying them, this is also the most central location to all the walkable attractions in Geelong. Next, drive down to the town of Torquay and find out why the Aussies are so crazy about surfing at the National Surf Museum. For dinner, I really enjoyed the seafood and pizza at Il Mato restaurant. 9 out of 10 would recommend. If the sun hasn't yet set, drop by the Bells Beach Lookout to have a small taste of the grand coastal views you're gonna see for the rest of the trip. For convenience, spend the night in the town of Torquay. I stayed at this hotel called The Sands. The room was nice. I got one that's overlooking their beautiful golf course. Very nice, it's a good, safe option. Day 2. Start your morning with a drive down to the Split Point Lighthouse for some cliff view with a dash of ocean air. You can get up the lighthouse to see their exhibition and get a high point view, but the view from the lookout points are good enough. Drive 5 minutes further down the road to catch the iconic Great Ocean Road archway. From here, you'll start noticing that the coastline gets rougher and rougher. More dramatic cliff sides. So definitely take your time and enjoy some quick sightseeing or rest stop along the way. Along the way, stop by the town of Lorne for brunch and hop on a short hike to the Erskine Falls. And the Teddy's Lookout for curvy ocean view with a sight of kookaburras. Before getting back onto the road towards Apollo Bay to hop on another short hike and enjoy a high altitude viewpoint of the rugged coast that you just conquered at the Mariner's Lookout. No, you haven't been to Australia if you haven't seen koalas. So if you want to see one up close or even sleep beneath them, spend your second night at the Bimby Park. Their forest cabin and campsites are literally home to families of koalas. The 2 koalas are there, and that's our cabin. Depending on your energy level and if the sun is still up there are nature hiking trails further down the road with more views and wildlife to enjoy. There's also a lighthouse, but I think you can skip this one because I have a way more exciting one already planned for a later day. However, this area, the Cape Otway, has very limited facilities. There are no shops or restaurants in this zone. Your last chance to buy anything is back at the Apollo Bay. For a more relaxing evening, just walk around the campgrounds to get acquainted with the resident koalas. After all, they're your neighbors. We went down to find koala, but we got quality time instead. Day 3. The star of the route, the 12 Apostles. Now you might be wondering, 12 Apostles? Is there actually 12? Well, there used to be 12, but due to coastal erosions, there's only about 5 stacks left. Alright, who's up for a swim? want to admire the Apostle up close, backtrack a little bit to the Gibson Steps, where you can get down to the beach and get close to the towering stack. However, it's weather dependent, so do check in advance. What makes the Great Ocean Road so great is the great variety of stone structures that you can explore in just one coast. Like the smashing Lockhart Gorge, which was named after the unfortunate ship that met its end here. In fact, this whole stretch is infamously named the Shipwreck Coast. But we'll touch more on that later. Before continuing our adventure on the Shipwreck Coast, catch a brunch at Port Campbell. We ate at the 12 Rocks Cafe, aptly named. Their food items were good, but I didn't really like their cakes. Once you're all filled up, get more smashing views at the London Bridge, which has since fallen down. Next, to the grotto, the uniquely calm hole in the wall amidst the crashing waves. And my favorite spot along the coast after the 12 Apostles, the well. On one side, you watch the waves beating vigorously onto the cliff, the well at the center, and to the right, the closest cliffside view you can safely get to see a beaten bay. All of these are super easy to visit because the viewpoints are just by the car park. Basically, you just drive, park, enjoy the sightseeing, and repeat. Enjoy a few more notable coastline view at the Bay of Martyr and the Bay of Islands before welcoming yourself back into civilization at the town of Warrnambool. This is where we'll be staying for the next 2 nights. The biggest problem we had along this stretch of the Great Ocean Road is toilets. To save you when nature calls, I've marked all the public toilets available on this stretch in my Google Bookmarks. Otherwise, just remember to go toilet at the 12 Apostles car park and before you leave Port Campbell. Drop by the Free Cheese Museum before you reach Warrnambool.
You are now a dairy farmer.
Now, if you want to eat something else that's not burger or fish and chips, I quite enjoyed my Mexican dinner at the H.O.N. Mexico. Finally, to uncover the history of the Shipwreck Coast, watch the night show at the Flagstaff Hill Maritime Village. Learn about the rise and fall of whaling, follow the miraculous story of shipwreck survivors, and how they earned the name Shipwreck Coast. You'll need to book the show in advance, and beware, they are closed on Mondays. But no worries, you can always swap this night with the next night. You'll walk through a village recreated to be like the olden days, on the way to the theatre, but they are already closed for the day. But no worries, we're coming back here in the morning. Day 4. Learn about the fascinating maritime history of this region at the Flagstaff Hill Village. Each of the buildings here are fully furnished to replicate exactly what they would have been like in the past. It was very fun and very interesting to spot the little details in each of the buildings. Rules for teachers. Men teachers may take 1 evening each week for courting purposes, or 2 evenings if they go to church regularly. Well, teachers back then had quite a good work-life balance, huh? On some days, there will be costumed volunteers demonstrating the old trades such as wool spinning. They also run free guided tours. Just check with the front desk before you start your day. Aim to reach the Flagstaff Hill around 11 AM. This is the time where most things will be open. Next, have lunch in town before going whale watching at the Logan's Beach. If you're here between May to October, you can spot whales in the distance. Otherwise, it's a nice spot to watch the waves. By the way, if you find this video helpful so far, please leave a like so that more people can find it. Thank you very much. If you missed out the koalas at the Otways, redeem yourself another chance at the Tower Hill Nature Reserve. You're actually inside a volcano. Well, not exactly. The Tower Hill used to be a volcano until it erupted so violently that the whole top came off, leaving this crater that is now a nature reserve. For the most serene and peaceful nature walk, with a chance of wildlife sighting, get onto one of the hiking trails. My favorite is the Labatang Boardwalk. In fact, we like this place so much, this is our second time here. And we were rewarded with a meeting with the very cute echidna. After some good time in nature, go back to the city for dinner. Actually, if you're really looking for good food, the KFC here is no bad. Finally, treat yourself to a night of relaxation at the Deep Blue Hot Springs. Dip into cold pools, hot pools, all infused with minerals drawn from deep within the earth. They are said to be good for your body. I don't know about that, but it was definitely good for the soul. For convenience, and in our case, luxury, we actually stayed at the Deep Blue Hotel, which is the same place as the hot spring. It felt so good to just relax at the hot springs and just stroll back into our room once we're done. Alright, day 5, it's our craziest day. We're gonna go deep into the history of gold mining in Australia at Australia's biggest outdoor living museum, the Sovereign Hill. No, it's a big museum with many activities and exhibits at different timings. So, where do we start? No problem, I have collected all of the timings and created the best visiting route to help you get the full Sovereign Hill experience. Aim to arrive at 10 AM and start your experience as a gold miner at the diggings. Do we get to keep the gold we
You
find?
get to keep any gold that you find.
I don't think I'm born to be a gold panner. There are specks of gold that you can find in this river if you are lucky and know the technique to separate the dirt from the gold. This one pays for your ticket, this one pays for your rent. The real gold here is having all your kids occupied for an hour or so looking for gold, thinking they'll find one. Anyways, don't spend too much time prospecting because there are way more things to explore in the rest of the museum. Get down to the Red Hill mine for a tour. It's getting tighter and tighter. They say that if you go 120 meters further down, you'll find an active gold mine. The most immersive part about Sovereign Hill being a living museum are the cosplayers all over the place. They are not there just as decorations. They actually interact with you, answer any questions in character, even roleplay with you. For example, we were looking for the illegal grog cellar. Hello.
Oh! You can't say that out loud!
At 11 AM, watch an outstanding trooper sharing the story of how troopers back then get insanely rich upholding the law. At 11:30, climb up the hill to the confectionery to watch how they traditionally create delightful sweet treats. You might also get to try one for free.
Thank you.
At 12 PM, don't miss the most expensive exhibit at Sovereign Hill, the gold pouring at the smelting works. Congratulations, you've just watched a $600,000 show. Next, have a short lunch break on site. Maybe check out some of the shops, which are all real and sells on-theme items. Before watching the Red Coats show of force as they perform public executions at the parade grounds at 1:30 PM. At 2 PM, go back to the main street to watch the blacksmithing demo. Depending on what the blacksmith is gonna make, it might be a bit slow because the iron takes some time to heat up before the blacksmith can whack it into shape. Still on the main street, head down to the apothecary's hall to experience the thankfully antiquated traditional Western medicine. Make sure to meet the highly interactive medic who will be here from 2 to 3 PM.
Do you have any arms or legs you don't want anymore? Are you sure?
No!
You want all of your arms and legs?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Well, what about that foot that says good vibes on it? Do you want maybe I could have that? I could have some good vibes. You just stick your leg out.
Next, head over to the tinsmith to craft yourself a bag of lavender to keep the bad miasma away. Before climbing up the hill where the big mining machineries are for a surface machine tour at the boiler room at 3 PM, followed by a quartz crushing demo to see how they convert quartz rocks into gold powder. If you're lucky, you might get a pouch of that golden sand. You got a sandbag of gold. So you're a gold digger now? Further up the hill, watch candle making demo at the Soap and Candle Works at 3:30 PM before watching the unsaddling of the horse carriage that you would have been watching going back and forth at the stable at 4 PM. By the way, yes, you can get on the horse carriage for a small price. It will take you one round around town and finish your day at the Sovereign Hill with a blast at the voltaic battery demonstration at the post office at 4:30 p.m, which is back at the main street. But for an even more immersive time at the Sovereign Hill, you might want to top up your ticket for an underground mine tour. You'll be going deep into the actual mine shafts where gold was found and learn a slice of history of Ballarat. You'll have 3 options available at various timings. If you want to visit the actual gold mining site, pick the secret chamber or the gold mining tour. Or pick the Trapped tour to learn more about the story of miners who barely survived a collapsed mine. However, joining this tour will mean that you will need to miss out on some of the main content because it's an uninterrupted 40 minutes tour underground. The best time to catch the tour will be the 4 p.m. slot because this is when you will miss out on the least amount of things. And you'll be around the tour starting area at this timing. For convenience, we actually stayed the night at the Sovereign Hill Hotel. So after clocking our steps up and down the Sovereign Hill, we were able to go directly up to our hotel and have a rest. For dinner, I recommend celebrating your golden discovery at the Dyer's Steak Table. It was very expensive, but it was one of the better steak that I've eaten in a long time. The taste is to die for. But that's not all. If you want to hear more story of Ballarat, especially from the perspectives of the Aborigines, watch the Aura Night Show, again at the Sovereign Hill, but at night. Which is why it was so convenient to stay at the hotel for us. The biggest challenge today, the Sovereign Hill, is at Ballarat, which is 2 hours away from Warrnambool. Which is why you might need some coffee from the Ale Espresso Cafe before starting your drive. This is actually my favorite coffee shop in the city. If you come here in the afternoon, you can try their carrot cake. Along the way, stop by the public restroom at Camperdown for a short rest and toilet break. Day 6, before you go back to Melbourne, catch this super nice breakfast at the Drive Cafe. It's a gas station that's converted into a diner. I'm still drooling off their green chili scrambled eggs. By the way, you can download the detailed itinerary for free. Just click the first link in the video description. All that I'm asking is for you to consider using my affiliate links to book your tickets, hotels and car rentals. You can also get a small discount by using my code DASHING when checking out on Klook. Thank you very much. And congratulations! Now you're ready for the most epic time at the Great Ocean Road. Now, how about visiting Sydney while you're in the land down under? I'll see you there.